Hi and welcome to the channel. Now today's review is about this integrated amplifier. It's a JVC AX-E700. Now this was sent in by Alex Mitchell, and I'll thank Alex first of all for sending me this in, and also he sent in a Technics receiver as well, which I've done a review on just a few videos back if you want to go and look at that. And I'm going to kind of compare this a little bit to that receiver as well as comparing it to some of the stuff I've got that you're probably going to get for a similar kind of price-ish second hand. Maybe a bit older this other stuff, but yeah, I'm just going to do a bit of a comparison with that as well. Now this would have been part of a stack system. I'm not too sure what it's come out, 80s, 90s was it? I'm not too certain now, to be honest with you. I did look it up and I forgot. But this would have been part of a stack system, and you would have got this, the record player, the turntable should we say, a cassette deck, a pair of speakers, and I think you've got a little graphic as well. I'm not too certain, but it would have been part of a stack system. I think it's a 4 or 5 piece stack system with the speakers, all made obviously by JVC, and this retailed for what I can gather about £850 here in the UK. Now what I will do straight off the bat is turn around and say, don't really go for these stack system. £800 back then, you've been better off getting some separates, getting the bits you want. They may have not matched up, you may have got a few different makes, you may have got the same make, but just cherry picking the bits you want rather than maybe getting the stack system. I think that looks good, but you've got a bit in there you're probably never going to use, you paid 200 quid for, and you could have diverted that money elsewhere and got better stuff. That's what I would say, but a lot of people go for these stack systems, or did back then anyway, because they look nice and smart, they're all in one unit. Some of them had a cabinet and all that kind of stuff. They all match. This is what the thing is, there's no worries, everything matched, everything nice and tidy, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, like I say, now I think this was rated at 50 watts, if memory serves me correctly. I did read a few different places, some went down to 35 watts and some went up to 60. But I think generally speaking, I don't know why, it seems to be a bit of a all over the place kind of thing, a bit, so I've got not a lot of information about this unit, but I think it's rated about 50 watts. A channel. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to kind of compare it with the other bit that Alex sent in, that little Technics receiver as well, and I'm going to compare it to some of the stuff I've got here as well, some of the cheaper stuff obviously, because I don't think you're going to pay a lot for this on eBay. I don't know what Alex paid for it, but I'm thinking you're probably going to get this between 30 and 40 pounds, somewhere around there you're going to pay for this particular unit, which is good really for an amplifier that's going to give you 50 watts a channel. It's got tons of inputs, so if we just very quickly go across here, we've got quite a lot of inputs in here. We've got tape, phono, tuner, VCR DAT, CD, and we've got video or auxiliary as well. So we've got quite a lot of inputs there. We've got the normal bass and treble control here. We've got a little surround here which just kind of widens the sound. I'm not going to really get into that at all, just going to use it as is. And the balance control here, and the volume. Now it did come with remote control. This one, Alex didn't get the remote with it, but if you went and bought it back then in that stack system, you would have a remote control, which is a motorised volume control, which will come in handy so you keep getting up and down out of the seat. But it's no big deal, just turning that knob round. Okay, so we're going to have a little look inside like I normally do. So that's it inside. It's got a reasonably sized transformer, but when I compare, this is supposed to be 50 watts. When I compare it to my Sansui, I think it's the 217 that's rated about 50 watts, is it 40 watts, something like that. That's much bigger, that transformer, just something I noticed. So it's still fairly weighty, still a fairly big transformer in there. And also there you can see, it's one of these IC jobs. Well, I say IC is a module where the amplifier, the main part of the amplifier is in that module there, as you can see. Right, let's get on to the sound then. How did this particularly sound? Well, I had a normal kind of setup, a few different sets of speakers, CD, vinyl, that kind of stuff. Had a good listen. I've been listening to it 3 or 4 days now. So I'm going to go over, I'm not going to go into too much detail really, just going to kind of say to you, this, if you're thinking about buying this amplifier at 30 or 40 pounds, it's not a bad amp, it's not a bad amp, but it's nothing fantastic, it's okay-ish kind of thing. Bass is okay, it's not too bad, reasonable definition I suppose for, what I'm kind of expecting from this amplifier. What I would say is that this amplifier tonal quality, tonal kind of sound, when I compare it to that Technics, it just seemed a bit off key kind of thing. Things didn't sound quite right on some of the instruments and stuff like that. It kind of lost its way a little bit. It didn't sound quite right tonally. This sounded right tonally, so that's one good thing. We're on a good start here. Tone-wise, it sounded okay. But like I say, the bass was okay, wasn't too bad. The mids they were okay. Yeah, not too bad. The instrument separation weren't that great. It was okay, but it was nothing fantastic. There was a bit all bland intermingled amongst each other kind of thing. One bled into the other kind of thing. There was no space around any instrument, space around the vocalist or anything like that. Not like some of the other amplifiers I got. Like I say, if we just go for a cheap Sansui, like the 200 I got, the 210. I've got a little quad there. You've got the space around everything. You're all in their own space kind of thing, and they're not much dearer them amplifiers than this would cost. To cost you to buy. So bear that in mind. I think. Let's just have a look. Yeah, the instruments and that didn't have the texture. Where we got the texture with the other amplifiers, and talk about them Sansuis and that. This is like it's a very right bottom of the range kind of amplifier sound wise. Like I mean, when it was in that stack system, it probably sounded okay, you know what I mean? If you have not listened to something else to compare it to, like a lot of things, you go and buy it, you haven't got anything to compare it to, it's going to be in your house, you're going to turn it on, and it's probably all nicely matched up with each other. The speakers are going to like get rid of the little bit of the arch top end and that, it's going to get rid of that, it's going to smooth it off, and all in all, it's probably not going to sound too bad. But when you're going to use this as a separate, and you're going to get some more revealing speakers and stuff like that, the arch is just going to creep in, it's going to come through kind of thing. Right, yeah, so I've got down here rough around the edges, got no warmth to it, anything like that. It's not one of them, it's not a lush sounding, a pure sounding amplifier. It doesn't kind of cuddle you, get you involved and make you feel good. It's a bit hard, a little bit on the hard side, I would say. It's okay on low to medium volumes, it weren't too bad. I mean, like I say, I've been listening to 3 days, been putting a variety of different stuff on, and when the missus has gone to bed and I've got it in here on a lowish volume, it's been okay. I thought, well, that doesn't sound too bad, but it hasn't got that top end definition. It's just lacking detail, resolution that you will get, even though these are cheaper amplifiers, you will get some of that with these other amplifiers. It does come through and it shows up, you can hear the difference in that on these other amplifiers. Obviously, this is, like I say, a low budget channel. I do emphasise this a lot. If you go up in the range, I'm expecting these more top of the range amplifiers to sound absolutely fantastic, sound really, really good. But what I'm saying is that you can buy a low budget amplifier. Like I say, I've got quite a few of the Sansuis on here, you can go and check out that, but like the 200 to 210 receivers, the 3.3 one's going to be a bit dearer than this. The 101's going to be dearer than this, but I've got a little quad I bought for about 50 quid as well. So you're not paying much extra. Them other amplifiers I talked about, the 200 and the 210, you're going to get 50 or 60 pound thereabout. So for an extra 20 quid, you're going to get a lot more for your money. But if you're after this amplifier, it's okay. So like I say, it's a little bit harsh, a little bit brash in places. You wouldn't want to turn the volume up more than a few notches kind of thing on a medium kind of level, because then it kind of loses its way completely kind of thing. It's just, you go too loud, it's just, if you don't mind just a smash here and a smash there and kind of thing with the cymbals, and you're not really looking for any detail or any resolution or anything, or any clarity or anything like that, any pureness to any of the vocals and that, it's okay, like, you know what I mean. But I think, like I say, if you're paying 30 or 40 pound, it's okay, yeah, it's okay, but don't pay more than that, whatever you do. Don't, if you see one up for 100 quid or something like 80 quid, stay clear of that. Go and get something a little bit older, something that's got, a bit more reputation, bit better sounding amplifier. You don't want quite a lot better sounding amplifier. But all in all, it's okay. Like I say, I've been sitting here, medium to low volumes. It hasn't been too bad. I'm paying too much attention to it. It's not making me want to go and turn it off, thinking, oh, that sounds terrible. That's too harsh, too brash. It's not like that, but it creeps in at the higher level with the volumes. But it's been okay. It's not an amplifier where I think I've had enough of that. I don't want to listen to it anymore. But like I say, but what I haven't got is that detail, that space around the instruments, that air, and it's all that kind of stuff. It's all missing really, but it's okay. It's still okay. It still does a job, and it's still okay. It's not unpleasant, but it is missing, some bits. Like some bits are missing, but it's still pleasant enough to listen to. This is what I'm trying to say. Low to medium volumes. I haven't, like with that Technics, I could play one CD even at low to medium volumes. I think, well, it doesn't sound quite right. I can't really stand much more of this kind of thing. And with this, I can still hang on in there. I can still put another CD on and listen to it and not worry too much. And it's not doing my ear rolls in too much neither. So that's one thing. So that's it. So there you go. Yeah, it's okay. Like I say, I'll give it an okay-ish kind of thing. 30 or 40 pound, what do you expect for that these days? That kind of money. If you're thinking about getting this, it's okay. Don't forget, as part of a stack, it weren't really meant to be an hi-fi amplifier. I won't call it them stack units hi-fi. They're just a stack unit that they put together. And as we looked inside here, as I did with the Technics, you can see that all the caps and other parts, I should imagine, are the cheapest they can possibly get from China. There are no makes on them or anything like that. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So that's it really. I thank Alex for sending that in. Yeah, he did say that this was the better out of the two, and that is definitely right. It is the better out of the two. Straight away you can tell the difference. It is better out of the two, and it's not bad. Like I say, it's not a bad little amplifier for the money. Okay, so that's it. Until the next video, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.